part of the institution. Uh, and there are these differences. And also then I go back again to welfare system. In Europe, welfare system is now part of its culture, while in US,
Sir,
it is
could you
not part of its.
elaborate more and define more welfare system?
Well, the welfare system in in US, they say it is down to an individual to take care of themselves. It is they consider it is immoral to force somebody to pay for somebody else because the earnings of an individual belongs to himself. All he has to pay is to pay for basic infrastructure such as defense and law and order. Otherwise, to force individual to pay for uh, free healthcare, free education, and free housing, it is not right. This is what the right in the United States believe. It's not the role of the state. However, it is the role of individuals to do that. So they say a fellow man must help others. So you and I mean, I'm sure you are a very successful person. If I become successful, it is my my moral right. It is my duty, moral duty, to help others, trying to provide them with uh, healthcare, housing, and free education. If I can, I have. So there is that aspect of it. It comes down to individual, and you see most of the American billionaires, they give a large portion of their wealth not to their children. They leave
True,
it
sir.
to the charities.
Why do they give it to the charity to for their children to depend on themselves, sir, and to be individual spenders or
Well,
consumers?
it you see, it's a United States is a young country. It's a new continent. It's a new world. Europe is an old world. He got over 2,000 years of culture, history, local grudges, lots of religious wars, lots of territorial wars. In the United States, that doesn't exist. It's a country of immigrants, uh, and they unite under the flag. So their identity is under that flag. So you are right to wear whatever you want. You are right to uh, pray in any religion you want, as long as you honor the flag, as long as you are prepared to die for the flag. That's the American concept. And elections are an important part of the uh, US culture. Everything, their culture, everything rotates around election. Now, in Europe, that is not the case. Elections are part of the democracy, but they are not the democracy. In the United States, election is the democracy, is the change.
Got your
While
point, sir.
election,
Sir, we're seeing an erosion of the one nation Tory tradition that valued culture independence from the United States.
yes. So just yes, exactly. And going back to that. So what happens is uh, as you say, one Tory nation. You see, United States is a new culture. It's a developing culture. 100 years ago, there was an individual called Andrew Carnegie. He was the first billionaire in the world around 1901. Uh, and one of the things he did, and he was a Scottish ancestry. One of the things he did was he actually gave away his wealth for charitable works, Carnegie. And that brought that culture to the US, that you become billionaires, you enjoy the wealth, but you don't enjoy it for your own satisfaction. You enjoy it by improving the society. And that's a very new concept. And for over 100 years, you find it just continued with others. And now Bill Gates or others are just doing that. Individuals are just carrying the same thing. Uh, Now, when it comes to the Tories in UK, as a conservative member of Conservative Party, I think we have to be much bolder. We have to discuss this sort of things, and we have to go back to the empire values, which the country should be run more as a company than as the democracy. I think the government right now, 40% of the economy is run by the government. I believe that 40% should be reduced to 10%, and that 30%.
40% of what should be reduced to 10%, sir?
Thank you. 40% of economy is now controlled by the state, by public sector. And that 40% of the, in United States, only 10% is controlled by public sector.
Okay.
So there is that, and that is generally in Europe. There is a 30% gap between European economies and United States economy. Now that 30% should be privatized to improve efficiency in Europe, but nobody is discussing that.
Okay, sir, I want to ask you a question here in this context. In Britain, a debate over sovereignty has flared after Elon Musk urged far-right protesters in London to fight back or die. Could you please elaborate more on this statement, and what is the relation between Elon Musk and Britain? What happened? Of course, we all know what happened between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But in the same context, sir, you mentioned now in your in the interview that in Britain or in the United Kingdom, most of the U.S. citizens there are Democrats that are with the country, not Republicans. So what is he targeting there? He's targeting the Democrats or targeting the Republicans, sir?
Sorry, I actually what I said is, no, sorry, I didn't mean about the Americans in U.S. I said generally, if you look at the politics of European, there is no equivalent of it as Republican Party here. That's what I meant. I meant the whole European politics. If you look at it, you cannot say there are Republicans and Democrats in UK. All European politics is Democratic parties, all Democratic. So even people on the right in Europe are equivalent to the right of Democratic Party in US.
Okay, got your point, sir. What does Elon Musk now want from far-right protesters in London, to fight back or to die?
Fine. Now, Elon Musk wants to introduce that Republican trend here, that very thing that doesn't exist here. And he's a very successful individual. He's a very successful scientist, very successful engineer. And he has some political opinions. Whether right or wrong, I find the overreaction from the European media or British media fascinating. He has said something. He has some influence. He doesn't have much influence. At the end of the day, it's what people want. But he has the right to say what he wants to say.
Okay, sir, this is in the context, of course, of the controversy or the whatever took place between him and Donald Trump, U.S. President. Sir Babak Emamian, thank you very much for shedding light on this complex clash between sovereignty and ideological loyalty, and for helping us understand how Britain's right is navigating U.S. influence. Across the channel, France's